we want to take a look at Hema-Quebec and their appeal for blood donors during the summer months. Things really slow down at that time. So we're going to get some information about just how slow things are, what you can do to help out. JOSÉE LARIVÉE is a spokesperson with Hema-Quebec, our blood donation and other kinds of donation service. She joins us on the line. Hello, JOSÉE.
Hello, Sarah and Justine. Thanks for having us this
Hi,
afternoon.
Thank you for being here. So how bad is the slowdown during the summer months in terms of donations?
Well, it happens every summer, more or less, as you were saying, people, Justine, I was hearing you, you were out in the woods relaxing. And
I donated blood to mosquitoes, so I don't know if that counts, though.
Well, ask people who are looking for blood if that counts. Well, that's another... Going to Hema-Quebec to give blood is certainly a nice way to get an hour, a relaxing hour. You can take a book and a tablet and go and donate this way. We are looking for an additional 500 donations each week over the next few weeks to meet the needs of hospitals.
All right. And is there a particular blood group that's needed more than another?
Well, at this point, every blood group is welcome, but we're particularly looking for all positive and negatives, both. Negatives being the universal donor.
Okay.
So we have a blood drive actually in Saint-Hyacinthe, Île-Bizarre, Dorval, Verchères. Next week in Pointe-Claire.
All right.
These are places that require a lot of donors. There's still appointments available.
Is there somewhere where we can see that list online that our listeners can go and check out the locations for blood donation?
Yes, for sure. So if you have never donated and you hear this interview and you think, okay, I'd like to try, you go on the website, you go on jedonne.hema-quebec.qc.ca, and it's there, it's big. Taking an appointment, you click on it, and you'll see the list. If you're not familiar with the web and you'd like to call, you can call 1-800-343-7264. And if you're unsure because you were taking medication or you have been traveling in the past weeks and you're not sure if this place in the world you've visited will allow you to give blood, you can also call 1-800-847-2525. And there's a nurse there who will listen to your situation and will give you information. There's also the website that is always very clear about exclusions that are going on.
JOSÉE LARIVÉE speaks for Hema-Quebec, and we're talking about the shortage of donors during the summer months. Hopefully, if you have some time, you can make a donation over the next couple of weeks. Does demand also decrease, or does it go up during the summer, JOSÉE?
Well, there's a lot of people who say that demands increase. Nevertheless, this is not our experience at Hema-Quebec. It's pretty stable. Like every week, we're looking at getting 1,000 donations per day. Summer like winter. These are the number we need to face to be ready for hospital demands all over Quebec. So I like to say that when Hema-Quebec comes and asks for blood donation, it's not really Hema-Quebec who needs blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's Quebecers, it's us, it's you and I. It's people, someone we love that will get involved into a car accident or have to face a cancer. And regularly when I walk on site and I ask people, why do you donate? Then I hear stories, I have a nephew. I have a brother-in-law. I have a colleague. And when you ask these people, what can I do for you? People who are facing cancer, for example, you want to help them and you go by their bedside and say, what can I do for you? Very often they'll say, just go out and give blood. Just go out and give plasma because I need transfusion every week to go through. So it does save lives, really.
That's so eloquently put, Josée. One logistical question, and this kind of shocked me. I was at a picnic over the weekend and someone said they didn't know what their blood type was. And I thought, oh, at some point, doesn't everyone find out sooner or later? Now, do you need to know if you're B negative or positive before you donate?
That's a good trivia question. Do you need to know your blood type and what is your blood type? You don't need to know your blood type, but coming to Hema-Quebec to give blood will tell you your blood type. So that's an interesting thing to know about ourselves. You never need, on a medical point of view, you never need to know your blood type, because if you get to hospital, they will test your blood type before giving you any blood. So you don't need to do it. But when you hear me or someone from Hema-Quebec saying we're in need for like A+, well, you can hear the call. If you're A+, you can feel maybe a little more concerned about it. So we will gladly tell you what blood type you are if you come. Yes.
That's a nice little bit of added information. But exactly. I think, Josée, what you said earlier about knowing who it's for and the fact that it's really for us collectively, Quebecers, anybody with a health issue, anybody who's been in an accident, all kinds of situations, almost everybody at some point can benefit from this. So that's an important reminder. We have a question from one of our listeners asking if seniors still have to get a letter from their doctor before they give blood. Is that true? Was that a requirement?
Listen, when you do want to give blood, you need to be aged of 18 and plus, and you need to be in good health.
Okay.
So that's the basic requirement. That's why some people will feel they need a letter, because maybe they've been through some health problems in the past, and then they will need that letter to make sure everything is okay. Basically, what we require is always based on the idea that we want to make sure it's safe for donors to give blood and it's safe for receivers to get blood. So
makes sense.
That's it. We try to make it as easy as we can, but our main goal is to remain safe for sure.
Final question for you, Josée, at Hema-Quebec. For someone nervous about donating, what advice do you have about getting through it?
Yeah, well, I smile at that question because we are, many of us are afraid or don't feel comfortable around needles, and that's a very, a matter of fact, that's a very tangible fear. There's no magic about it, You can think of people who are fighting for their life. Sometimes that helps when you look at the size of the needle and the size of the gesture you're going to make by sharing your health with someone who is in need. That can give you courage, I would say. And to be more concrete, I would also say talk to our staff. People on site are very sensitive to the fact that to someone who shows up and will say, listen, it's my first time. I've never given blood before, and I'm not at ease around needles. Mm-hmm. And then, they are very professional, and they'll know what to do and how to accompany you from the beginning to the end of that donation. We've met many people who were not comfortable, and it's such a joy to see them coming for a second donation, a third donation, and eventually becoming donors.
You make a very convincing argument, Josée. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So again, Île-Bizarre, Dorval, Verchères, Pointe-Claire, we need that you take rendezvous, and we'll be happy to see you.